Yo, what's going on, everybody? Back with another video. It's a little bit different. Yes, this is a podcast. Before I get into the podcast, I just want to say this is me and my dad. We decided to do a podcast. We're going to be doing one about 2 times a week, probably. Just want to say I appreciate all the support from you guys. And before I get into this, I do want to talk about I am going to be having memberships on my channel. I don't know what it's all going to include yet. It's not going to come out until maybe the end of this week or maybe the beginning of next week. I'll be having a Discord where members can join, and also for our podcast we'll be having a Q&A section. So that's just a little bit about memberships about this podcast. First off, we talk about betting. We are not professional bettors. We are just talking about what we like, and we're just two guys, me and my dad, just two guys who have loved sports our entire life, and seriously, all we do is sit and talk around sports. And I was like, bro, let's do a podcast. Like, will you do a podcast with me? And he's like, yeah. So that's all this is. It's a very casual thing, nothing specific. You guys can share your opinions in the comments on things that we talk about, that's for sure, because you guys show the absolute most amazing support I've ever seen in my life. And yes, we'll be doing this 2 times a week. I don't know exactly what days they will come out, but the next one I talk about it should be out next Thursday, or this upcoming Friday, or maybe even Saturday. And real quick, I just want to say, the sound, I only have one mic. The camera, I don't have the setup correctly yet. I mean, you can kind of see like the aftermath of the table and everything. It's not all perfect. It will be getting better throughout, the weeks and months that we do this, once I start to figure it out right now. But this is just what it is. And I just want to say I appreciate all you guys. And yeah, so that's it, pretty much. So yeah, let's get it. I don't know what we're going to call our podcast. It might be called Chub and Stub.
Chub and Stub?
Chub and Stub might be it. So we're doing podcast. Maybe 2 times a week?
2 times a week sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll try to do 2 a week.
Probably do one sometime earlier in the week on like a Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll get one before the weekend.
Yeah.
We'll record on a Thursday. Might come out Friday, so we can look at NFL stuff and get stuff. But anyways, so to start off, let's talk about the NFL.
You want to talk about bets first?
Yeah. Let's talk about bets that we placed this past weekend.
We took money line on the Cowboys.
We did.
Which was a sweat.
That was definitely a scary one.
Spread was 3.5 going in.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we went money line.
Right. Which was kind of frustrating because I feel if Greg the Leg actually knew how to make field goals, we'd be okay. If Dak Prescott knew how to do a QB sneak, we'd be okay. If they had better goal line performance, because honestly, they outplayed the Patriots by a lot.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Way more plays, way more.
And then the last play, the safety and Diggs just had a miscommunication, which allows a crazy touchdown to score. Okay, so first one we did have Cowboys. What else?
We both like the Arizona over Cleveland. We both had Cleveland favored in the game, plus you were getting points.
Yeah. Which I don't know. We've talked about. I don't know why the Browns were favored.
Not totally.
I mean, they were home.
They were home, which gives you a
3-point.
Yeah, but that doesn't.
So basically, they were saying it should be a tie game.
Yeah, it doesn't really justify those.
But if you're saying Cardinals were at home, they would. Saying they were just 3-point favorites at home doesn't seem right, especially since Cleveland was hurt. No Nick Chub. Baker has a shoulder injury that he says he'll play through, but he still has a shoulder injury. And the Cardinals are undefeated. So we did like that.
We like the Rams over the Giants. We weren't fond of the money line at 9.5.
Or the spread.
Sorry, yeah. And then it came back to 7.5, but
they
definitely liked the Rams. That game wasn't even close.
We liked Cincinnati against Detroit.
We liked the Cincy Detroit. Money line or spread there.
Or spread was pretty good.
Yeah.
We didn't know about Miami or Jacksonville.
Nah, the only other one I had showed interest in was Houston covering against Indy. That was my loss.
That's right.
Of the week.
Yeah, that is true. And I put in a parlay. Well, I have 2 parlays. And if the Bills win tonight, I would have made $1,000, which is good, but I put in a lot of parlays. Although I think if I win the 1,000, I'm definitely haven't put in $1,000.
I'm sure you have not put $1,000.
But we've been doing FanDuel since like 2016, like the lineups.
Yes.
So over 4 years, and I was working, I did put in money, but I've probably only put in 400, 500 max, and I've taken out some money too. So, but yes, parlay, which I had Buccaneers, Eagles, which was actually kind of what'd they get to? Eagles covered because they went for 2.
Right.
Which, does that make sense? If you're down 14 and you score, you go for 2, and then a touchdown wins it, and then you're assuming if you don't, you just have to get the other 2-point conversion?
They were just, going to go for it at one point or another, so they just went for it the first time.
And spread was 6.5?
I think that's what it closed at, yep.
That's a bad beat. Do they call that a bad beat? That's probably a bad beat.
Probably because Tampa Bay led and dominated that football game.
Then I took Alabama against Mississippi State, which with Alabama losing last week against Texas A&M, I figured Saban wouldn't lose twice in a row. I don't know when the last time Saban's lost twice in a row. If it's even... it's probably happened, but I don't know about Alabama. Took Rams money line that we liked. I took Chiefs money line, which actually we were leaning towards taking Washington's spread.
We were, but had no faith.
We didn't really have faith.
Washington.
Like, we didn't place it, but the numbers said to take them. Plus, Chiefs against the spread are awful.
Yeah, they haven't been covering.
And I took Packers money line, which was good. Colts money line, Cardinals money line, Cowboys. Then I took the Steelers, which the Steelers, Big Ben looks really bad. Big Ben looks really, really bad.
He looks awful.
He looks terrible. He had a throw to Chase Claypool in the fourth quarter on the right sideline, and he was wide open, and he just missed him. And he has to float balls that we talked about. He has to float it because he does not have the power, which is not his fault. He's dealt with injuries, and he's not Tom Brady. So
yeah, they're not throwing the ball down the field. They're not trying to stretch anything. So it's running, short passing, and they have to drive the entire field to score,
which is tough.
Which is going to limit their chances of scoring.
And he's not I wouldn't say he's mobile, but he does actually move around decent. Like, he doesn't get sacked very often because he's a big guy to get taken down.
Yeah.
And then I guess then we can get into Monday night's game, which is tonight, which you guys will be seeing this podcast on Tuesday, so you'll know the result if I'm sad or if I'm happy. We love Bills minus 5.5. Well, they opened at 5.5.
I think they opened at 3.
Oh, they opened at 3?
3, yeah.
Okay. But when I went to go place the bet on Friday, they were at 5.5.
And they're at 6
and
now.
That's 6 now, which we love.
Still at 6.
We love it at 6. Bills should probably win by double digits, I would assume.
Yeah, I like it to be close to double digits. I think it should be an easy cover.
Which I don't know if A.J. Brown's playing, but he's questionable. But Tennessee has a bad defense. Offense is very reliant on Derrick Henry. I don't know how the Bills have one of the best run defenses, but they also have played not heavy running teams, or they've played like bad teams. Like the Texans doesn't really count because they're the Texans. But then they played like the Chiefs, which the Chiefs aren't heavy run. Well, even if they were heavy run, they were down so early. You can't run the ball. But yeah, so I got Bills going into tonight. So basically, if they win, get 1,000, which is good. All right.
A prop bet possibly on the game tonight. Over receiving yards on Henry at 14.5.
Why is that?
He's been over in 4 out of 5 games. His targets are way up this year. The only game he didn't go over was the Jacksonville game where they were dominating the ground and weren't behind.
Okay.
If the script goes correctly on the game tonight, they should have to be throwing the ball, and they may be dumping it off to him.
Do you know who Tennessee's backup running back is?
I do not offhand.
I don't either. I know they used to have Dion Lewis.
Yeah.
I don't know if they still do, but he was a receiving back. So that I have noticed they will play Derrick Henry on third downs when they're going to pass, and they don't run a screen for him, but they have him run a little short route, and if he's open, they will throw it to him, which means they must trust Derrick Henry's catching now. And of course, I mean, if anytime he gets the ball, especially if a cornerback's on him, you're going to have to he's going to break the first tackle, more than likely. So if you need 3 yards, throw a little short pass, more than likely he will just fall and get the first down. That's interesting. That is interesting. So prop bet 14.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, minus 120.
Minus 120. Ooh, that's not bad. That's not bad. And especially if you're thinking they're going to be down, they're going to have to pass the ball.
Yeah.
And he's just going to be running more routes.
Should be able to do it in 2 or 3 catches if he...
Could
do it in 1.
He could do it in 1 depending on what happens.
A couple catches will get him right around there.
Or if they get heavy or like a 3rd and long, just throw a little screen and just let Derrick Henry run. Might get it. Okay. Let's focus in on Who do you think the best team in the NFL is right now?
Best team?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Cardinals since they're
6-0. Yeah.
But leaning towards Buffalo.
They just had a weird week 1.
Yeah,
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, they were up 10-0 on Pittsburgh to start that, and then they also had there may have been a special team touchdown for Pittsburgh in there.
Special teams touchdown change everything about a game. It's honestly crazy. I don't know what the number is, but I'd assume if there's a special team or defensive touchdown, the chances of that team either winning or covering the spread probably goes up dramatically.
Yeah, changes it.
Because you're not expecting it.
Had blocked punt in the Cowboys-Patriot game yesterday too.
Or same thing even with the Cowboys, like you would expect them to score first and goal on the 1 or 2 yard line. And if they don't score and he turned over the ball, like that automatically just takes 7 points away from the board. Like I bet the under hits way more often. Spread.
I would say most likely, yeah.
Which is very interesting. Yeah, my best team, probably the Bills. I'm going to take the Bills. I feel like Josh Allen should win MVP this year. Lamar Jackson's putting up an incredible run.
Baltimore's looking good. He looks really good.
Which is weird because we always loved Lamar. Even we thought he should have been drafted as a quarterback and should have been drafted way higher than 30th, I think is where he went to Baltimore. Or
something
32,
like that.
31,
like
29.
I just don't remember.
But, like, he is passing the ball so well. And, of course, he runs the ball insanely good. Hollywood, Marquise Brown is looking really, really well. The Ravens look dangerous. They do. And they're probably going to win their division.
They put it on the Chargers yesterday.
They did. That's a game. I almost was leaning more taking just Chargers money line. And especially spread, because I thought Justin Herbert would have played well, and he got absolutely locked down.
Yeah.
Ravens defense looked really
Very
good.
poor performance there by the Chargers in that game.
Yeah, that was tough. Oh, I did end up placing a live bet. Packers, Bears, Rodgers, 84 passing yards at like halftime or somewhere in the third quarter, and they gave me 191. And I took the over. He got to 195, so like he almost didn't get it. I mean, obviously their math was correct. Take 191 at 191 because it was close. But it's like, I don't know how you could expect Rodgers to not throw for over 190 yards. I know even if the math says it, like, because if they need a drive to score, because it was a close game, he's going to pass the ball. Interesting. All right, anyways. Any early lines that you like for next week? Obviously, we'll talk more in depth by the end of this week, but...
Nothing yet. I mean, we got the Thursday night game. The spread has moved to 3.5 between the Browns. And Denver at Cleveland.
Yeah.
Down to 3.5.
I don't know.
I'm leaning towards Cleveland.
Right. But now they don't have running
nothing
backs.
That's...
Unless Chub comes back. But they don't have Kareem Hunt now.
Yeah. They haven't looked at the under. The under might be an interesting bet in that game.
That is
depending
true.
what it is, but I don't know what it is right now. It's something we'll have to look into.
Yeah. Oh, I was high on Raiders money line. Very high on that. I took that. I just felt interim head coach game. Usually your head coach doesn't get fired for the reasons John Gruden got fired for, and usually it's because you're bad, and then your team rallies around you. Around the interim head coach, but I swear they win like all the time. Like if you're an interim head coach, you always win your first game. Obviously you do not, but it just seems like they do. Giant spreads this weekend, so I don't even know. Possibly just take money line on people. I did see the Rams move down to 14.5. What were they?
Drop down?
Yeah, because they were at like 17, right? 16?
I think 15.5.
15.5? I think they were at 14.5, maybe 13.5. So they are moving down, which I'm curious about that because Stafford playing Lions, even though it's in LA, could be interesting. And the Lions are a bad football team. They are bad. They should have 2 wins because of field goals, but they're still a bad football team. That's NFL talk. You want to talk about baseball or NBA first?
We'll go baseball.
Okay, let's go baseball. We got screwed over.
Yeah, we lost last night. Betting the Dodgers.
Dave Roberts is bad.
I just don't understand some of his decisions. I wouldn't even have gone to Urias.
It didn't make sense. You went to Urias.
I would have gone to Gratterall and then just Jansen to end the game after using.
And they had Blake Trinan, who only threw 9 pitches.
In the 7th.
And he got through the whole inning in 9 pitches. And it didn't look like, it wasn't like, he threw 9 pitches, he was wild, got some lucky things. No, he looked good. And then you brought in Urias, who came in and gave up hits instantly. And is Urias lefty?
Yeah, and both Gatterall and Jansen are right-handed. So they wanted to go to the lefty, but I don't like that. Even though it was his bullpen day.
Because Jock was coming up to bat, right?
And that's
But he pitched to Austin Riley, which
he did.
I don't know if Riley hits bad against lefties. I don't even think Jock hits that bad against lefties.
Yeah, he doesn't look as comfortable, but
doesn't look as comfortable, but still, they are major league hitters, and they are in the Championship Series and LCS Championship. So without their best player, Ronald, so obviously it just makes no sense. And Jock can hit lefties. I don't understand. Jock his stats. I know he didn't get the most opportunities to play against lefties in LA, which I guess could have made sense, but he can hit lefties. He's not like Cody Bellinger, who can't hit
struggles.
At all. Yeah. So yeah, we got screwed over by that. Who tonight is Astros?
Astros at Red Sox.
Who do you like?
I don't know that I have a favorite in the game. The biggest thing I see is Astros over total runs at 4.5.
That's low.
That's an average bet, but all 6 postseason games, the Astros have been 5 or better. The 2 starts in the regular season for Rodriguez against the Astros, he gave up 6 earned runs in both.
The starting pitcher gave up 6.
Yes,
you're getting 4.5.
The Astros hit way better average against lefties
than righties.
I think they're at 368. Compared to 255 in the postseason against righties. Which leaves
Is that why they lit up Sale then?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I would take the Astros tonight money line, but
you don't feel super.
That's the bet I like. And then the other thing I would take Kiki over 1.5 total bases.
Oh my gosh,
he has struggled against the Astros starting pitcher tonight, but when you're on this kind of tear, I just
roll with him.
Yeah,
he's absurd. He's insane. Imagine if the Dodgers had him. They don't have room for him.
No,
because they have everybody else. But it's crazy. Kiki is playing fantastic.
Yeah, he's got 5 home runs and 4 doubles in this postseason so far, out of 14 hits.
It's absurd. So not only is he hitting the ball, he's literally crushing it. The only problem, it could go in your favor. It could also not. Is Fenway's Park in general, because there are certain places in the ballpark where it's a home run and it's not a home run anywhere else, and there's also certain ball parts where it's a home run everywhere else and it's not a home run in Fenway, which could possibly hurt you. Or if it bounces off the giant wall, that could have been a triple or a double or a home run, and it turns into a single depending on how they react and stuff, which will be interesting. But yeah, Astros 4.5 should. We don't love the Astros, but Altuve looks good.
Yeah, and the odds on those bets, Houston's minus 125 score over, and Kiki's plus 110
on the 1.5 total bases.
Yeah,
and all you need is either a double or 2 hits out of him.
Yeah,
which he should get more than likely. Yeah, I would probably lean toward Astros, just money line. But the Red Sox are hot, so it's kind of tough. I mean, the Astros are playing well too. It's not like they're playing bad. I would take
the over in that game too.
What's the over under?
It's 9.
So they've
been around it all, either over or right around it.
So are both teams at 4.5 runs then?
Yeah, that's probably where they're at.
Yeah. It's literally just a toss up. They don't know who's gonna win. That's interesting. Who's pitching for the Astros? Who's the guy?
Uruguay.
Okay.
Which Kiki is 0 for 3 on the season against him, but like I said, he's on the tear now. So
and the bullpen will come in at some point, and if he hits well against that, he'll be fine. But yeah, he's on a tear, so stats don't. And 0 for 3, that's just one game, most likely. You played one game.
Yeah.
Had a bad game. Seeing the ball well, so that makes sense. Yeah. Have you looked at all into Dodgers Braves tomorrow for Tuesday?
Tomorrow I haven't looked into them. The only thing I would be interested in is the under. where it's at. I don't know if it's going to be 8 in the 8 range, maybe even 7.5, because both games have been 3-2, so there's only been 5.
That is true.
In each run.
Do the Dodgers make a if you had to pick right now who's winning the series, Braves, Dodgers, who would you lean to?
I'm still taking Dodgers.
Yeah, me too. I feel
they should get even going back to LA.
Yeah, or going back to Atlanta. You mean, or going back to LA?
They're going to LA now. The first 2 games.
I see what you're saying. You're saying they should get even when they go back to LA. They should.
Yeah, they should win 2 games going back to LA and then coming back to Atlanta at 2-2.
Yeah, they should. I don't understand Dave Roberts' decisions sometimes. It doesn't make sense. Even when he started, it worked out for him that he started that Corey Knebel guy against the Giants. I also think the Giants manager I think it's a poor decision to play 2 guys purely for the one pitcher, and then you switch him out when Urias comes in, because if it's a close game, like as it was, it didn't hurt him too much. Well, no. Is Wilmer Flores was he a pinch hitter, or did he play? No, he played.
No, Flores starts.
Yeah, Flores started, so that didn't affect him. But also, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like taking 2 guys out in the beginning of the game, like you're going to get to a point where if it went extra innings, he wasn't going to have pinch hitters, or at least the guys that he wanted. And he started Yastrzemski and then took him out instantly. And it's like Yastrzemski is a decent bat.
Been down this year, though.
He has been. Yeah. I don't know. But, I mean, also, what he did with the Giants roster is insane. I don't know how they won that many games. Obviously, they have a good group of guys, but so I'm not trying to hate on him too much. I just didn't love the idea of, I'm going to change my lineup because he brought in this guy for 1 or 2 innings, and then Urias dominated. So, yeah. So that was a smart call on Dave Roberts, but I also don't like Dave Roberts' decisions either.
No, I do not. They were frustrating last night to watch.
And they've been frustrated. Like, in the past postseasons, he would go to Kenley no matter what, and Kenley would struggle. And he just kept going to him and going to him. I don't know if it was the 2017 when they lost to the Astros.
I'm not 100% sure when he kind of lost his...
Which, it's not Kenley's fault. He had the heart thing, I think. That's
what
it was.
He did.
And then he lost velocity or something, so...
I mean...
It's not his fault.
Seager makes that play, and the game,
That's also true. Seager has to make that play.
They get the out right there at first, and that doesn't,
That is also true. Seager has to make that play, which was tough. But, all right, so that's baseball. Now let's talk about the NBA, because it's just starting. Let's talk about Tuesday. Who do you like? I, personally, I don't know. I'm a Warriors guy. I love Warriors money line, and I love Bucks.
I like the Bucks. I don't know what to think of Brooklyn's defense. Stops. Yeah. Kevin Durant's going to be awesome. He's probably going to be the MVP. He's going to dominate.
You think KD's MVP?
I do.
Oh.
I think he's going to put up massive numbers because they're going to have to outscore teams. I just don't think their defense is very good.
That is also true. They're running Blake Griffin at the 5, or at least it looked in preseason.
And he's okay defensively.
He is actually better defensively than I would say you would think, but like Blake Griffin at your 5, he's going to basically be guarding Giannis. Like, that's a mismatch. And if Giannis shoots like he does in preseason, I think that's the MVP. I think Giannis gets his 3rd. He won his 2 in a row. Did he win 2 in a row? Yeah.
I think so.
I think he won back-to-back. Then he didn't win this last year, but he won the championships, and he just put up 50 in Game 7. So I kind of feel like voter fatigue goes out the window because he didn't get it last year. And if he comes out, honestly, he doesn't even need... I feel like if he came out and averaged only 26, 27, which he should probably average near 30 more, but he's taking more jump shots, people will be so much more impressed that they'll be like,
no,
give
I
this
agree.
guy. And he'll probably be the number 1.
I just think Durant's going to lead the league in scoring. And
Durant might average 34 a game this year.
Yeah.
Which, if a guy averages 34... And if he played like how he played in the Bucks series and he can play like that for all year without getting injured, I don't know. Obviously, we don't know about Kyrie's situation.
No, but that's like for this game, that's a big loss offensively.
That's huge.
I mean, defensively, we know Harden's not going to guard anybody.
No.
They have some.
No. So
the Bucks are pretty solid defensively, and up until last year, they were always a really good regular season team and just hadn't quite finished it in the postseason.
Yeah, and then they finally turned it around. But also, what's really interesting is literally last year, first round Brooklyn, or second round Brooklyn. Was it first? Second round?
I think so. Foot on the line?
Yeah, foot on the line. People said if they lost, Bud would have been fired. Which,
well, that was rumored.
You go from Bud could be fired because he doesn't know how to handle with Giannis to he just won the championship. He won the championship. Actually, I don't even know. I said it was Game 7 of the NBA Finals. I don't know if it was. Was it Game 7 of the Finals? Did they go to Game 7? I don't remember.
I know. Man, I can't tell you offhand either.
Phoenix was up 2-0. I think it did go Game 7 because I think they ended up getting a third one. But anyways, it's just crazy how if Durant's foot isn't on the line. They might have
swept them 4 after that, after being down 2.
They might have.
Might have ended in 6.
It might have. I can't totally remember. But it is a sense of if Durant is 3 inches further back, Bud's fired. Whole new coach.
That changes everything.
Giannis doesn't get a finals MVP. Giannis doesn't win a final. It's another thing of Giannis. Giannis played great against Brooklyn, so you can't really say he couldn't perform in the playoffs, but it's another thing of, do we have to blow up this team? Does Giannis have to leave? Do we need another option? And instead it turns into Giannis now possibly has the chance to be one of the greatest players of all time. I mean, he's on pace. He's on pace. He's on pace. And if he gets his jump shot, and if he were to win a third, a fourth MVP, and another finals MVP, he's going to have to get the finals. I don't know if he can even reach to 6 or
what. I don't think there's much chance in that, but
that'll be tough, but still, it's really interesting. But yeah, Brooklyn, KD's going to average a ton. Depends if Harden's in shape. He looks out of shape at times, and then
I don't know what to expect, and we know what he's defensively, so.
Yeah, he's not going to defend anybody. But he can defend them. He just won't sometimes.
Yeah, he just doesn't want to.
I can't say he didn't defend. I mean, he didn't defend in Milwaukee, but he was playing on a bad hamstring. So, playoffs, he might defend more. Let's go to Golden State Lakers.
I mean, I like Golden State. I would take the points. I think you're getting 3.5 right now. I just don't know what to make of the Lakers with all the changes. I don't know how Westbrook, Melo, DeAndre, LeBron, Dwight,
Anthony Davis,
how that's all going to work. I could see them struggling at the beginning of the year for the first 15 to 20 games before they start to figure things out. I just don't know if that's a roster that's...
Contenders.
And Golden State doesn't have Clay. LeBron will get him to the playoffs. I'm not.
Right. I mean, he'll get him to the playoffs.
But it might be like last year where, Phoenix just takes him out.
Right, which they were hurt. Him and AD were both hurt, which definitely hurt him. He can sit more. I would almost... I haven't looked at any prop bets at all. Maybe LeBron under on points. If they're putting him up in upper 20s. I don't know what
I haven't looked and seen what he's at all there.
Because I feel like LeBron takes a seat back for the first 20 games. Like, he generally does this. When he first went to the Heat, he took a step back. He was like, kind of going to let D-Wade figure out what he wants to do and Chris Bosh. Like, he wasn't like, I'm going to come in here and just score all the points like he did when he was with Cleveland. When he first went to LA, obviously they didn't have the roster, but he wasn't like, I'm just going to go out there, average my 33, and he tries to get people involved, which I feel like he might do. Like I feel Westbrook will run the offense instead of LeBron.
Yeah, and how much does Westbrook just take away from both Davis and...
I don't know. Or is Westbrook going to be able to turn into the guy where he's completely pass first?
Yeah, I just don't know. Maybe rotations after the first part, they'll get times where LeBron is sitting and Russ can just be Russ.
Right. Which Russ and AD on a pick and roll is pretty deadly.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, just let Russ shoot. Let him shoot.
Just leave him out there.
If he tries to go hero ball too, like he did in OKC, which Kevin Durant tried to go hero ball too. Harden obviously not because he was the sixth man and just didn't have as much opportunity. But like when those two are together, when it gets down, like they will just chuck up shots sometimes, which Westbrook cannot do, which I don't even know if he will do. Also interesting, will that team be able to even play defense? Because you got LeBron, who doesn't love to play defense in the regular season sometimes. They were the best defensive team last year, and LeBron actually
Anthony
played.
Davis will play defense.
AD will play defense. Westbrook will a weird defense.
Yeah.
It's like he's very athletic, so he'll make up for him not wanting to play defense at times. Dwight will play defense. Melo. I don't know if Melo's stopping a guy.
Yeah, Melo is just Melo.
They do have Malik Monk, though, at the 2, which I really like. Spot-up shooter.
That'll be different.
Malik, pretty solid. But yeah, I also don't know if they even... I mean, they got all the... Do they have enough depth?
I don't know.
Is the question. I don't know what the bench looks like.
I just don't know what... I think getting all that figured out is going to take a while, so I would like Golden State off the bat.
Yeah, which in preseason, Golden State, Curry was not getting double-teamed. Now, it is preseason.
Right, that could change.
But
still no Clay.
Jordan Poole is shooting way better.
Oh, it looks good.
Looks great. They had Otto Porter Jr., who sat in the corner and will just hit threes nonstop, which if he can do that, he'll be perfectly fine. Clay is practicing. I have seen that, which looks really good. Draymond's Draymond. Draymond won't shoot, which is fine, but he probably should be able to shoot.
Hopefully Wiseman keeps developing.
Wiseman needs to develop a little bit. Looks interesting. But yeah, interesting stuff. I'm curious to see. Curry could also possibly win MVP because they might be able to get a 4-3-4 spot. But it's so tough, again, with Durant. As long as Durant stays healthy, he seriously might average 34 a game.
Yeah, I think he's going to put up a ton of points this year.
He might average 32, 33, 34 points a game because they're just going to have to score, like you said. Okay, I saw some things did happen today on Twitter. I took some photos of NBA things. Jaren Jackson, 4-year deal, $105 million contract, $105 million with the Grizzlies.
I like it.
I love it. I love it. Wingspan, great. Young, gonna just rise with Ja Morant.
Yeah, you got to keep
him. And 4 years, $105 million
is really nothing for NBA purposes.
That's really not that
kind
bad.
Of a steal
because DeAndre Ayton is wanting like the super max, like the max.
Yeah,
he's wanting
I saw that they're not.
Which speaking of that,
deals they don't want to sign anything.
They don't want to sign Ayton. But they just signed Mikal Bridges, their small forward, to like 4-year, 80 something.
I think that's more of a wait and see how this year goes.
I would agree.
If he has a year like he had last year, they're going to have to end up paying him.
Right, but you also might be thinking, this is Chris Paul's last year, most likely.
Possibility, yeah.
And you might be thinking, we're only going to have Ayton for one more year, and then after that, we're going to try and just rebuild again. Because if we don't have Chris Paul and you think Ayton's only really a pick-and-roll guy, I'm assuming that's what they're thinking because they don't want to give him the max. Yeah, why would you? You know, if you feel like, especially if you feel like you can go get someone cheaper for pick and roll.
Right.
But he also was one of the bigger reasons that they made the NBA finals.
It was a huge reason.
Defensively.
The way him and Paul were able to.
Yeah, just great. But I do understand why they're lenient. But yes, I think Jaren Jackson's great. Defensively, awesome. Pretty solid offensive game, and you just want to keep him and Ja together. Another thing, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver was looking tampering by the Miami Heat for Kyle Lowry and the Bulls for Lonzo.
Interesting.
There probably is tampering, but I don't understand how they're going to get it, but everybody knew AD was going to the Lakers, and I don't think they really got anything.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of... If they get him, I'm just assuming small slap on the wrist.
I would hope so. You can't take away a
draft. Nothing too huge there.
Not like they take away a draft pick. I don't know. Milwaukee signed Grayson Allen to a 2-year extension, $20 million, which I think is really good.
Like it.
Love it. I mean,
we'll have to see how he kind of fits in rotation-wise and everything with Milwaukee, but I like it.
Yeah. We are Duke fans, though, so we are a little biased.
That is also true.
We're a little biased, but I love how Grayson Allen's going to play. That's a 3-and-D guy. And he is super athletic. And that's kind of... Now, they didn't have DiVincenzo because he was hurt in the playoffs. But just adding another Grayson Allen, another athletic guy who can shoot the 3-ball really well. 40% guy, I'd assume. Especially this year. He's going to be open way more.
Should get a lot of looks.
Yeah.
Open looks.
Love it. And 2-year, $20 million is absolutely nothing.
That's nothing.
For the NBA. So Forbes came out with the 2021 most valuable NBA teams. I'll just give you the top 10 that they have. Number 1 is the Knicks at $5.8 billion because they're the Knicks, but they did make playoffs though.
Yeah, and they're always up there though. The Knicks.
Yeah. Number 2, Warriors at $5.6 billion, which is crazy because he bought him for like $400 million.
For nothing.
$400 million.
New arena and everything that they're tied in with to help driving that up.
Right,
and
Warriors of course, it paid off that you drafted Curry and Clay and even Draymond, and they turned what they turned into. But you bought it for $400 million. You've turned it into $5.6 billion.
It's a pretty good return on investment.
It's absurd. Lakers 5.5, of course.
That's normal.
But then Bulls drops to 3.7.
Dropped?
Yeah. Well, or from 3 to 4, it dropped to 3.7. I don't know if they dropped. Celtics 3.6, Clippers 3.3, Brooklyn 3.2, Rockets 2.8, Mavs 2.7, Raptors 2.5. But all pretty solid.
Clipper one still surprises me a little bit. I know what Ballmer paid for it originally, but
yeah, what did he pay for?
I think $2
billion.
Yeah,
he's jumped it up to 3.3.
Yeah, and I'm just a little surprised at that one.
And they've had no. Wow,
they've had success, but no,
they have not. Okay, other thing though, Paul George, the way he played, totally changes everything.
Be interesting to see
how he plays.
I mean, Kawhi's not playing in the preseason. And,
yeah, but like when he comes back, team.
But if that's the way Paul George is going to play, then it changes them.
You have a serious chance. If Paul George plays like that, now will Reggie Jackson play like that all time? I don't think so. Maybe that's what he is now. You know, he got a shot.
Yeah, we have to wait. We have to wait and see on him.
Because like Fred VanVleet turned into something with Toronto. Now he's pretty solid. So maybe, but yeah, Paul George literally played like he was the actual number 1 guy and looked great. And I would this is how I said it. Paul George to me, I would have taken Jimmy Butler over Paul George before last year. Obviously, Jimmy just made the finals. After seeing the way Paul George played offensively, and you know he can play defensively, you'd look stupid taking Jimmy Butler, in my opinion.
No, I agree.
Jimmy's a superstar who will only shoot 4 times a half. He'll only shoot 8 shots, which is weird, which is fine. That's okay. There's a place for that, but he can't be your number 1 guy.
No.
Anyways, 5 top NBA lottery picks were waived this week, which is interesting. Number 2 in 2014, Jabari Parker was waived, which
injuries just derailed him.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of great offensive potential. Doesn't like to play really defense. But his injuries
his athleticism went out the window.
Too much on him.
The number 5 pick in 2014 as well was Dante Exum, who never turned into anything.
Never panned out. Never. No matter where he went, never seemed to find a place that worked for him.
One of those European guys you thought would have been something. I mean, he's like 6'7", 6'8", huge wingspan, point guard. That's kind of how the NBA was moving towards for a second, and then just never panned out. The number 3 pick in 2015, Jahlil Okafor, plays in the wrong era.
Yes, he's a back-to-the-basket big man.
Yeah.
Not that athletic. He's for a post-up player, he's not that tall.
Right.
He's not that quick.
He's slow.
He's a defensive liability.
Right.
He just, yes.
Like, if he played...
Great college player for his 1 year.
Right,
but
loved him. But
just didn't stand much of a chance in the NBA.
Like, if he played in the early 2000s, I mean, he would have been smaller, but the way his postgame was, you would have just posted him up.
Had a chance then, yeah.
Yeah, had a better chance. The number 5 pick in 2016, Chris Dunn, which is...
Little run there for the Bulls early on,
yeah,
but never panned out to be anything.
And then the number 8 pick in 2016, Marquise Chris, which is a guy that just...
He's just never been able to get it going.
He never panned out.
At times he had some looked like he was going to be okay in Phoenix. There was something there, but...
And then he went to Golden State, and he looked like he could have been okay for a few games, and then just, it went away.
Yeah.
Odd.
Not surprised by any of those.
No, not really. Not really. All of them are, I mean, Dante Exum, like we said, foreign pick, and then the other guys just didn't really fit the NBA mold of what it was going into. Besides Jabari was injury. And then the Hawks signed Kevin Huerter for 4 years, $65 million, which I think is...
That's a good deal.
That's great.
The way he played last season and in the playoffs.
I think if you sign anybody for 15 to 20 mil a year, that's great. That's great at a rate.
With kind of shooter in the way he played.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's really good. Few more things I want to talk about the NBA. Ben Simmons. He practiced with his phone in his pocket today.
I don't know what's going on.
What?
There. He's had to show up for his money purposes.
Right. He looks like there's just so much drama.
Yeah, I don't know if he plays. I just don't know how the 76ers are going to look.
And I personally think Ben Simmons should have a career year. Reason being, you want to get traded. There's only there's only 6 ways this turns out. It's he either stays on the team or doesn't, and it's either he plays bad and stays on the team, plays bad, leaves. Plays the exact same he's always played, stays on, leaves. Plays great, stays on the team, or leaves. So he has 3 ways of playing, basically.
I think he's trying to go the Harden path. I'm going to show up, you're going to give me my money, but it's going to be awful, and that way you'll deal me.
Right. But that's almost interesting because then...
But what can the 76ers at that point get for him?
What are they going to get? I know they talked to the Pacers and they wanted Brogdon and LeVert. Or they wanted specifically LeVert, but people are saying maybe Brogdon, LeVert, or LeVert in a first pick, and Pacers did not want to do it, which I don't blame them.
Brogdon got an extension today too, didn't he?
I did see that. I don't know exactly what it was, but I saw it was an extension.
2 for 45?
That's a lot. It is the Pacers, though. He is a key guy.
He is.
You kind of just have to keep him, but that's a lot. And obviously the Bucks did not think he was...
I could be wrong on the years, but I think it was 45.
No, I think it was 2 years, though. I did see 2 years, but 45, it's hefty. No, I think Ben Simmons... I'm a Ben Simmons guy, though. So
I know you are, but
I'm biased.
That's looking like a train wreck.
But it looks like a train wreck, and there's just no way. I feel like there's just... I don't know. Also, the way both sides handled it so bad... I don't understand. They completely called him out for the loss of the entire series, which he did do terrible and did not play. But also, I think there's something... I think Ben Simmons is playing the wrong position. He should be like a point forward, not I'm a point guard. Or if he's going to be a point guard, he has to play like Giannis and only go to the paint.
Well, yeah, but he's got to be able to make
But then he has Embiid. Well, he's got to make free throws, too.
I mean, Giannis can airball free throws, and he doesn't care. He's going to keep attacking.
That's true. Ben Simmons definitely has to shoot. But, I mean, you look at his average, and he's a 15, 8, and 6 guy.
Should be.
That's all. But that's what he is.
Yeah.
Every single year.
Should be able to walk out on the floor and pretty much do that.
And you're like, okay, I think the issue is they're expecting you to be now a 22 10 assist guy, 22 and 10 or 22 10 rebounds, 22 8 and 7. Like, you're just not, he's not improving, which is the toughest part. He won't shoot the ball, which if I were a coach, I would literally just tell him, I don't care what you do. We have to shoot at least 1 3 a game.
Well, but they expect a lot from him because Embiid's not going to play every game.
That is also true. And if you look, this is why I think Ben Simmons is playing the wrong position. When he played Utah, his career night, he put up 42 against Gobert, playing the post. He was playing around the basket, playing the power forward, posting up, doing that, attacking in transition and stuff. But he wasn't the point guard just sitting there with all 5 nowhere near him to be seen. So I don't know, but I don't even know who trades for him.
Philly still wants a lot for him, so.
Yeah.
There's not too many teams looking. I think they're kind of wait and see how bad this gets to the beginning of the year, and then maybe Philly will look, because anything Philly was wanting was ridiculous.
That is true. And Ben Simmons could still play point guard. I just think if you play him at a power forward position as well, like mix it up a little bit, like you can have him run point, and if you're like, I kind of need you to get going, let's post you up a little bit more. Very possible. But also, why would you post up Ben Simmons over posting up Joel Embiid? So that's exactly why.
It just.
But I think that's possible. So yeah, that's kind of what we like. NBA, we got our. Oh, who do you think wins it all in the NBA? Just who's your go-to team?
Man, that's a tough one this early on.
I know.
I don't like Brooklyn for the reasons they've got going on.
Right. I don't want to take Milwaukee back-to-back.
I know, but it would be a good team. I don't know what Phoenix is going to be like a second year.
I think they drop.
I think the Lakers are going to be
they're going to be really competitive in playoffs. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I just don't know what they'll be like. You just have LeBron and what that does there.
Right.
I don't know if teams like Dallas makes a jump up in there. I don't know that the Nuggets can go much more than they are. I think the Clippers are in the vicinity, but they need more than what they've got.
They either need more or they just need to play how they played last year with adding Kawhi, basically.
I just don't know. I mean, Utah's the number one last year.
Don't even get me started.
I like Mitchell. I just don't know what Gobert when you get down to those final teams.
Gobert looked lost. And that is also partly coaching as well, like if they're going 5 out. But if they go 5 out and you can't run Gobert, like they were just switching all the time and attacking Gobert, like that's a liability, and he's not great offensively. He's not bad, but he's not great.
Might be leaning towards Milwaukee.
Just got to be Milwaukee, unless some team surprises us.
I'm not thrilled with Philly.
Right.
I think Brooklyn's kind of a mess right now. Not impressed there. I think Milwaukee there. Like I said, I don't know what to make of the Lakers. Do they have a season like they had last year, and then they end up being the 7 or the 8 again, and then they've got to go through multiple good teams to get there?
Right. Also true. Especially if you're 7-8 now, you got the play-in game. So LeBron would probably try to be at least 6-5, at least 6, because you don't want to play the play-in game. It's just an extra game. You just don't want to do that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of teams. It's probably Milwaukee.
I mean, was Miami's 1 year just a fluke year, or now adding some pieces? Is Miami gonna
with Kyle Lowry? That is true.
Be a little bit different, in that run.
But I don't see the Nuggets making a run. Well, like they can make a run. They could get maybe to the conference finals.
Will be
they're going to be good.
3 seed,
they're going to be
most
good.
likely. It's just I don't know if
maybe if the matchups play right.
I just don't know if they have a team. I don't know what to think of Portland.
Portland takes a drop off.
Lillard's great.
CJ, iffy.
Yeah, I don't know that's...
CJ would be good.
Title contender number 2 player. I don't know if that's it.
Yeah, but I also didn't...
He was their 3rd in Portland? No, that's different.
If he's their 3rd and they had like a big man...
Yeah.
Like if they got DeAndre Ayton...
Yeah.
I think they'd be
Nurkic
good.
With his injuries, he's not a...
Nurkic was solid too, but yes, injuries.
I don't think
are
he's
tough.
that guy.
Probably not. But yeah, there's not really... I don't know. I guess I'd probably just take Milwaukee too, but I don't love it.
No, I don't like any
I don't love it right now. Obviously, first at the beginning, my surprise team that I think makes the playoffs, 4-5 seed, marking it down, Chicago Bulls.
Wow, I agree with that.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I think Chicago's great.
I like what they did at the trade deadline at the end of the year. I like what they're doing in the East. I definitely think that's a playoff team.
I think that's a 4-5. You're looking at maybe... Oh, you know what team that could maybe make a jump? The Hawks. We talked a little bit about them. But they could also maybe drop stay the same.
They're
good.
I like what they're doing.
But yeah, the Bulls. I love the Bulls. I'm a huge Lonzo guy. Love Lonzo. Have. Ever since he was in UCLA. But Levine is going to average 25 at least. He might drop a little bit because there's more people to score.
I like Vucevic.
Vucevic is solid. DeMar DeRozan and DeMar can now run point. That's what he did in San Antonio. He got his assist up.
I think they can do that.
Alex Caruso. I mean, people love Caruso.
I like what the Bulls have done.
Yeah, love the Bulls. I think they're going to be a 4-5. Could even see him get... Celtics, going to be good, but...
I don't know what to think. Tatum and Brown are good, but I don't know if that is...
I don't know what else, man.
If that's a good enough combination.
We gotta add something else. Yeah, I agree. I'm just trying to think of other teams. I mean, I don't even know. Obviously, you got a lot of rookies to look out for. Cade Cunningham. We'll see how he plays in Detroit. Detroit looks really good. They're super young. Like they look like they could be something. Yeah. Like they look like they could end up being something. I kind of like what they're doing there. But yeah, I don't know. Rookie of the year. Do you think it's just Cade, or it's like Jalen Green, or?
I would go with Cade myself. I think Cade's going to score points.
Could even be Josh Giddey from OKC. He's a absolute insane.
Could be.
I love him. That's one of my guys.
I think Cade's going to get to shoot the ball a lot, so I think his numbers are going to be.
But Cade will, yeah, and maybe again Jalen Green with the Rockets could.
He's got a chance to score a lot of points there because they're pretty bad.
They're pretty bad.
No, I think we've pretty much covered it. The only last thing I have is Thursday night college football.
Oh,
love Coastal Carolina to cover against Appalachian State.
How many points is it?
It's 4.
But that's it?
Yeah.
Wait, why is it only 4? I thought you were gonna say like 15.
I have them like 12-point favorites. They're on the road at App State. App State's 4-2, but Coastal Carolina is 6-0. I just like the way Coastal Carolina plays. I think that's
okay.
I think that's an easy cover on Thursday night.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like it could be. Going back to the NBA real quick. I do kind of like Porzingis. Jason Kidd said Porzingis is going to be getting more mid-range shot and post-ups, which is interesting because in New York, that's where he scored a lot, not threes. His threes have gone up consistently.
They could change it. And
his numbers have gone down. So
they have to find a way for him to get more efficient.
He has to be. He's got to be. He's got to take middies. Jason Kidd was pretty much saying, I don't care what the analytics say because you're going to shoot middies better than the three, so let's get you some middies, not just have you sit in the corner shooting threes. If we can get Porzingis averaging the 22, 23 range with what Luka's doing, could be a good one too. They just probably...
If Luka's got one more jump to his game, there's a possible MVP right there too.
That's also true.
But I just don't know what Dallas has altogether, if that's a team that's going to come out of the West.
The West is tough. The West is tough. And East is tougher. They've gotten tougher. Don't know. Also, it depends too, I guess. Where does Ben Simmons end up getting traded? Does he end up going to a contender?
That could change some things.
If he goes somewhere
does Portland
like that?
fall apart and decide they want to bail on Lillard and
because Lillard wants out? Because Lillard wants out, so they're like, hey, give us Ben Simmons.
Changes somebody,
but if Lillard goes to Philly, I think they're automatically the number one team.
I just don't see Portland wanting to do that deal.
All right, real quick. The last thing we'll talk about then one day. Pelicans. What do we think about the Zion situation?
I don't know. They're already hearing rumors that he wants out.
And he's got the foot injury now. Yeah. Like he had the surgery, and they're like, we're going to relook at it in 2 weeks. Which the picture went out of Zion where he looks out of shape. And it's because he has a foot injury.
Right. So, if you've had surgery, he hasn't been able to.
He hasn't been able to. But the thing is, even if in 2 weeks they're like, all right, he's got 2 more weeks and then his foot is healed. Then he's out for another 2 weeks because he's got to get into game shape. You know? So, like, he's probably out for the first 20 games. And, I mean, I kind of like what they're doing. Like, Brandon Ingram.
I don't totally like what they're doing. I don't know that Ingram and Zion are good together. Ingram has saved his career since he's gone there.
Yeah.
But I don't know if those two play well together.
I can't say I like what they're doing, but they got rid of Lonzo, which I think is stupid.
They have some major defensive liabilities there.
Yeah, which is weird, though, because they have 2 super athletic, long wingspan guys. Zion and Brandon Ingram should be able to play great defense.
But their on-ball defense is not very good.
No. Their on-ball isn't, but you would think, yeah. But I just saw they got... I didn't even know this. They have Devontae Graham, which is actually
a solid pickup.
That's actually a solid pickup. But they probably don't make playoffs. And Zion probably ends up...
I don't think not in that team, not in the West.
Not even close. Like, they don't even make play-in game, I don't think.
They have...
They might, but I don't think they do.
That's tough.
I might be proven wrong, but I don't think they do, which is tough.
But if Zion misses time, that team's in trouble.
Yeah, and then he's going to look to one out, and they already lost AD on how, and the way they lost him was just, I could see Zion almost doing the same thing. Like, I'm injured, I'm sitting out, you're going to have to get rid of me.
Right.
Especially if they just try to not make moves. But anyways, all right, so that's our first podcast. All right. We'll be doing this probably 2 times a week. This should be out Tuesday. I'm thinking the next one we'll probably be recording on Friday.
Either Thursday night or Friday.
Maybe Thursday night. We might do it Thursday night, so that'll come out maybe Friday.
Yeah, try to get some college football on Friday.
Yeah.
And then get ready for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll see where we are baseball-wise.
True. Little quick announcement. I will be having memberships on my channel, which haven't come out yet, but they will be out either by the end of this week or next week. I'm thinking it'll be like a $4.99 option, and then I'm going to make posts, and you guys can ask any questions that you would like that we will answer on the podcast from members only. And then if we don't get enough questions from members only, I'll open it up to all subscribers. But if you guys are interested in that, there'll be more details on what there will be. There'll be like monthly live streams every once in a while for members, and then the Q&A, and then I will be making a Discord as well for members. So that's what it will be look to come for. But yeah, so this is our first podcast. Also, let me know if there's anything that we need to improve. I know the sound might not be great, but we will be fixing that. And maybe light situation in camera. This one was just put together real quick. So we
Work in progress.
Work in progress. We will get there soon. But anyways, yeah, thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys Friday, most likely. Maybe a Saturday. But yeah, peace.